What's up, DJ fan? Welcome to another video on our channel. Welcome to another episode of Start to Spin. My name is Diego, also known as DJ Pretty Boy, alongside my boy Shay, also known as DJ Shay. And together we open this spot to talk about DJ related content such as product reviews, tips and tricks, just tell our stories and share it with you guys so we can share some knowledge. So if you're a new DJ or a seasoned DJ, this is the spot to be. And with that being said, let's roll this intro.
Hey, we got the intro back again.
Welcome back to another episode of Start to Spin. Today we have a pretty fun one, and I know that there is a lot of DJs, especially new DJs, that go through this before and during the event. And we go ahead and we'll talk about it. And I'm referring to how to open the dance floor, how to get the dance floor starting and things like that. It's very, very, very difficult at the beginning when you're starting to figure out these things. Once you start getting a more season in the DJ industry, you might have your go-tos, and we'll break it down how we do it depending on our the event that we're doing. But first, we want to piggyback from last episode, and Body brought this up. He wanted to talk about real quick about the cars. Like, what do you use to whip to these events? Personally, I have a couple of options. So if my event is a small event, meaning a birthday party, a house party, a graduation party, I will use my my Nissan Kicks, which is an SUV. If my event is a wedding or a quince, which requires for me to take way more equipment, then I'll use my wife's CRV, which is a Honda. And if it's like if we're taking everything, including the 360 and the dancing on the cloud, like everything, then we need two cars, probably my car and my wife's car, or sometimes we use my car and then Pee-wee's car, which is a Honda Civic. And whatever doesn't fit in my car, we'll throw it in his car, and then we do it that way. So I have options. Now, obviously, the most, I want to say, like the better option would be to get like a work van or one of those. I'm very interested in the Nissan NV200. I really like that van. Like, I don't know why, there's something, or the Dodge Ram. I don't know like the specific type, but Dodge Ram, it's another van that I really like. Mm-hmm. But as of right now, with the equipment that I have and the events that I have, I don't see it like being extremely necessary for me to spend money on a van like that. So let me remove this one so you can that one. All right.
Yeah, there we go. So here's the NV200.
Yeah, so
you would choose if you could.
At least for me, that one is perfect. I don't need more than that. Again, my totems are collapsible, so I can take them apart. Now, if I decide to start using like those 6-foot truss thing, then yeah, I might need something bigger. Mm-hmm. But I want to be as mobile as possible, mobile friendly. And I think that the collapsible totems are the way to go. Now, the only thing is that I would much rather have my collapsible totems already like built, because that takes a little bit of time once we get to the event to like get it in this, like start screwing things and stuff. So yeah, if I ever get one of this type of vans, then definitely I would just keep my totems built, and it'll fit there just fine. So my the NV200 and the Dodge Ram, I don't know the number, but it's also like kind of like the same size as this one.
Let me see, Dodge Ram van.
Yeah, no,
no. This one's bigger. Oh, yeah. Ram ProMaster City. Maybe that's what it's called. ProMaster. cities. That's a smaller one. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, yeah, like that one, like that one,
Yeah,
or yeah, something like that. So
yeah.
those
This is
type
called
of
ProMaster City.
yeah, so those type of bands that's also a good option for me. I know there's a lot of people that use those. They have big vans, or they have those the little the cart thing in the back that they just hold
Yeah.
those boxes in the back. So
Give me 1 second. I'll be. You keep going.
yeah,
My dogs are going crazy.
so that is what I would prefer based on the stuff that I have in my storage unit. Everything so far fits in my car, in my wife's car when I do my bigger events. But I know that there's other people like Buddy. He has a Mercedes. I forgot the type of van, but I think it's a little bigger than this one. But yeah, that one looks nice. But again, it has to be with what you need. If you really need that type of you know you have the money to do that type of investment, and you see it to fit your needs, then by all means go ahead and do it. But if not, and everything that you have right now still works well with whatever card you have, then keep using it. Use it until you grow, you grow bigger, and you need a bigger car. But as of right now,
Yo,
if that's whatever you have works, then keep using it until you can't use it, until you grow. What do you use? What are you driving?
yeah. So when I started, I just had a Honda Accord, like a sedan,
Hmm.
and that really limited. Like I could fit 2 tops, my lavish booth. Actually, I could fit 4 speakers in there, like 4 tops, lavish booth, um, my lights, but I couldn't fit like stands or like facades and stuff like that in there. Actually, I could fit a facade, but not like lighting stands or like totems that were pre-built, because then it's just you need more space.
Yeah,
So I started with that, and that was like my basic setup. But then once I got the columns, then I needed to have, well, I had basically what happened is I inherited my wife's SUV. So then once I had an SUV, then I could fit like actual subs and columns,
yeah,
and more stands and stuff like that, because that's the problem. Like with the stands, you need a little bit more space if you want to bring them pre-assembled,
yeah,
or even if even the flex stand, like the tube part of it is still pretty big, so you need to have a long space in your car, like an SUV, to put it straight. And you can't always do that with like something like like a sedan. So I like the SUV. I think most DJs use SUVs, but the problem with it is, one is there's not that much like height, because the seats take up so much space. So you lose out on that height a lot of the time. And
yeah,
then the other problem with it is sometimes it's compared to a van, you have to lift things up higher to get it into the trunk. Versus in a van, it's way lower down. And also, that's why you have more height too. But it's
yeah,
easier to get like heavier objects inside. So, I'm not gonna, like, right now, I'm not gonna buy a car for my DJ business. Like I just don't do enough gigs to like have a whole separate car. But if I had like a dream car for it, I would say the same thing. I don't want to. I want a minivan. I probably wouldn't get a work van, because I would rather just get a regular minivan, like, I don't know, Toyota Sienna or Honda Odyssey or something, that I
mhm,
could take the seats out, use it like a van, and then if whenever I don't want to, I can also use it as a van for, like, personal life stuff. So, and then you
mhm.
can still fit a lot of stuff in them.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, my other option could be a regular van and
Yeah,
just take all the seats. Or
yeah.
there's vans that you hide the seats under,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
it's flat.
And
So
you can pull them out easily. So yeah,
yeah,
the idea is, the good thing if you have a dedicated vehicle for DJing, the good thing is you can just leave all your stuff in there too. So it's
yeah,
like, just keep all your stuff in there. Like, yeah, there's a risk like someone could break in, or like if you have to park on the street where you live, like, obviously you don't want to do that. But if you have some kind of a garage, or you live in like a neighborhood, just leave all your gear in there, and that saves you so much time, load in, load out. You don't have to worry about forgetting things, like, oh, everything's just in my van and just lives in there. And then
yeah,
the only time you have to take it out is, let's say you need to use it for something else, which you know, if it's just your DJ car, you might not never have to do that. But you know, that's why that's my goal. You know, to if I ever do it enough that it makes sense to have a whole car just for DJing, then that's probably what I would do is buy a van. It's funny. I always told myself I never buy a van. Like vans aren't cool, but for DJing, it's like it makes it so easy.
It's a need, not a want.
And you know, the other thing is versus the work vans. Sometimes work vans you can't open them on both sides, depending on the type of work van it is. So the passenger vans you could slide the doors on both sides and the back, so you have easy access to everything inside. Because I know like sometimes when I've rented like a big U-Haul van, you only has one sliding door and then the back opens, but you can't. It doesn't have a sliding door on the opposite side for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, so it depends on the van that you get.
Yeah.
Some do have the two doors. One just has one, and like whatever you want, because you know they count the back door. It's one, and then there's one on the side, and then there's one on this side.
Yeah.
Or either 3 doors or 2 doors.
Yeah.
Whatever you know, whatever you can afford too. Because 3 doors, I think it's a little more expensive, just because it has one more door.
And then since Buddy's not here, but we're talking about this for him. But this is what Buddy's rocking with. Hold on, switch it back to.
That's what I mentioned. He's rocking a Mercedes. I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up here. So he's got the Sprinter van, but he's got the Mercedes one. So I bet Buddy's looks like this, like the black one. This is why I imagine Buddy driving, pulling up to the event with the black Mercedes Sprinter all decked out.
Dang.
Look at that one. No, I mean it looks nice. That's big, dude. That one is way bigger too. So
yeah,
but I know Buddy's setups are also, maybe he has a smaller one, because I know his setups like probably wouldn't require something this big. So maybe he has a smaller one, but not sure. But yeah, Buddy, if you end up joining, then you can let us know.
No, yeah, that'll be interesting. But I think that's the one that he drives. But I mean, for me, as of right now, that one is way too big. Like I could probably put Pee Wee in the back too.
Well, that's the thing. Like if you're bringing, right now it's too big, but like, you know, I mean, I don't think, even if you have the clouds, or sometimes you have to bring like 4 speakers or something, you know, let's say at a wedding, the biggest setup you'd need is ceremony speaker, cocktail speaker, 2, maybe 4, like max. Sometimes I need speakers for the reception, but then you can use the ones from the ceremony or cocktail if you have to. Let's say like maximum you have to bring is like 5 speakers, you know, for whatever reason, like 5 speakers, the facade or your booth. And then, you know, the biggest thing is the speakers, and the lighting and stuff. I mean, unless you're bringing flight cases, you can actually put lighting into the soft bags. They don't take up too much space.
Yeah. So like, that's another thing. If I get one of like a work van or one like a regular minivan or whatever, I can definitely put a lot of stuff into hard cases, because right now I use soft cases, and that's why everything fits on my car. Yeah. But if I get hard cases, it's not gonna fit in my car or my wife's car, because it's like the hard cases are better because obviously they're hard, you know. But and you can stack. But the thing is it's too bulky. Yeah. And it's heavier too. So
that's the thing, and you have to be able to roll it. You have to be able to roll it into your van.
Yeah, but you can buy those little ramps.
Yeah, it depends on the van then, you know, depends. Because like, for a minivan, there's less of like those ramp options, you know, because they're like designed more like you know, with like passengers in mind. So but like versus then the last option, which I don't know if anyone here has one or any people that usually watch our show, but then there's a trailer. Because the nice thing with a trailer is the door comes down, and then the door of the trailer just becomes like the ramp that you can push your stuff up.
Well, yeah, that too.
But then the trailer gets so annoying for parking and driving and this and that. So
yeah, I don't think I'll ever get a trailer.
Yeah,
the best I will do is a van, a work van or a minivan.
Yeah,
and like you said, give it a double use. At least for the minivan, you can use it personal or for your business, both. You know, so it's great. Well, now that we talked about what we use, what we rock, like I remember back then when I first started, I had a Honda Civic, and those are small. So the only thing I could fit in there was my two speakers, my speaker stands, my controller, and like my table, my facade, my table would fit, but that's it, like nothing else. Oh, and like my spider light, because they were small. So
Yeah.
that will fit. But anything like if I wanted to add anything else, it wouldn't fit in my car. So eventually, I grew it and how to get one of those no, was it? I was about to say USB,
Oh,
SUVs, SUVs.
that's the thing. Like a lot of the initial, just like a basic setup, two tops, your controller, mixer. That you can fit into a car. But
Yeah,
the
and
thing is once you start getting like, especially like dancing on the clouds, like or subwoofers,
that
that's when
the machine is bulky. That's why the
yeah,
company is really
and
big.
it's bulky. It's on wheels and stuff. It's like awkward shape. So then you start needing some more space, and then it's like okay, like you need to have something like with the flat like bed, like the back of the SUV is flat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's not that you know it's not that common now. I guess now it is. Most of the vans have that, like hiding the seats to make it like flat. But
yeah,
before, you have like they're the older versions. You have to take them out, and the rails are there, like
yeah. The rails are there.
so
Yeah,
you have to put something like carpet or something on top of that to
yeah,
not mess up your equipment.
yeah.
So it's better the ones that hit than the heights in within the van.
Yeah. Well, I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
All right, so that'll be interesting. So now, let's go ahead and talk about what we came to talk about, especially with new DJs nowadays, like I said before, and how to get the dance floor to like started. How to start the dance floor, how to get it packed, and we're just gonna go kind of like in detail the breakdown of how we do it. And I guess I'll go first because Shay is not here right now. So I take a lot of advantage when we have what is the ceremony, cocktail hour, and reception. When we have all three, or even one of them, like if they just want us for cocktail hour and reception, I take a lot of advantage on those type of scenarios. And the reason why is because I use ceremony and cocktail hour to study people. I make sure once everything is set up, ready to go, right there at the ceremony. One, making sure that my equipment works fine, everything is going smooth and everything. But oh, look at that! He got the new light. So
Got
guys,
him in the mail just now, baby.
you guys gotta stay put because he's gonna make a video on this.
Sneak peek.
Yep, you just got a sneak peek here on the STS episode.
Here they are. Got some new moving heads. They finally came here
There you go.
after a month though. After a month, and with all the politics going on right now, I'm sure that contributed to the delay. So
Yeah,
yeah, finally got them after a month. Yeah, we'll see how they are.
that'll be
Hopefully a
interesting.
month later.
All right, well, getting back to what I was saying, I take a lot of advantage when we have the either cocktail hour and reception, because I'm there studying people, watching for movement, people singing, because those are the people that eventually you're gonna want to go for at the reception. You also see the people that are drinking, because people start drinking from the ceremony. There's a lot of people that start drinking from the ceremony.
If
So
you have a good party, then yeah. If your party is good, then
those people are the ones that you want to go for at the reception part, because once you get one, two, or a few couples into the dance floor, then everybody comes in.
Mhm.
So and that's the hardest part. Once you open the dance floor, you need to have at least like some people that you can go to, like you go to people to that you can be like, okay, I know that they like this type of music because I watched them during cocktail hour, I watched them during the ceremony, and I played this type of music, and I know that they like it, so I'm gonna use this. Also, we do as DJs, we all have our go-tos, our go-tos, like this song is gonna make somebody dance at least. So we have those things too. But things that you want to keep in consideration is age range. When you get to the event, because I know, like, obviously before the event you do talk to your clients and you do ask them what's the age range, and majority of the time they'll tell you, oh, it's between uh, 30 to 60. But then you get to the event and there's actually a lot of young people, like 18 to 25.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you like that kind of like refreshes your head and maybe makes you go a different route than what you thought you were going to start with. So just take in consideration the age, because again, young versus older is completely different energy. So you gotta keep that in mind. Also, the event type, whether it's a wedding, or a corporate event, different expectations. So that's another thing that you want to have a good understanding of what the expectation is from the clients from the beginning to the end of the event.
Yeah.
And then obviously the time of the night. Dinner just ended, or it's like a wrap up of a speech. Then you are transitioning to to open format or open dancing. It's very important to know these little things so you can plan accordingly. And again, you might have a plan in your head going into the event, but once you are there, your plan might change, and you
Yeah.
need to be ready for that. How do you do it? How do you
Yeah,
prepare
I
for it?
agree, man. I think you had a good summary of everything that we had to get, because a big part of it is what is this what's the occasion that's just ending, and how is the dance floor starting.
Mhm,
So like sometimes it's like, most of the time I feel like what it is it's everybody's seated for dinner, there's dinner happening, and then all of a sudden, whatever, 45 minutes, 30 minutes in, then it's like, okay, dance floor is open now. So with that one, it's tough. Like if everybody's just kind of sitting, the vibe is like everyone's chilling. um if you just, it depends how you want to start it. So if you think the crowd would respond to like a really high energy song right off the bat that everybody knows, you can start with that and then just be like, all right, everyone, come on, let's go, the dance floor is officially open. And that's what we're talking about before we came on. But like playing a song everybody knows, like playing a song like September, or if it's an Indian crowd, then playing some Bollywood song that like everybody knows, and then letting it play. That's the other thing. When you start a song like that, let it play for longer than you normally would, because what will happen is people will be like, oh, I like that song, but they'll be like, oh, kind of warming up and going there slowly. And then by the time they get there, if you're like already quick mixing like the first song, then you might have switched out of it, and then they're like, oh crap, like now they may not like the next song as much, or whatever. So I always let that first song, I let it play like two verses. If it has a third verse, maybe I'll even go to the third verse. Like I'll play it longer, let everyone sort of get on the dance floor and like get a little comfortable, and then I'll start mixing more and going into things. Now I'll do that if the crowd seems like really hype. If they seem like dead, and it's like they're not like, it'll be like a big, too much of a mood change to just be like, oh, dance floor, let's go on dance floor, like hype it up just from like everyone sitting down. What
mhm.
I'll do is I'll start with a slow dance. So I'll be like, hey, like play a slow dance. All right, everybody, we're start opening up the dance floor, the slow dance. Bring, if you came here with someone special, bring them out to the dance floor, join the couple, and then kind of make it, fill the dance floor that way. That's another really good way to do it. I think it works with more like majority white crowds again. Like with the ethnic crowds, sometimes you kind of have to see what the vibe is. Like sometimes ethnic people, I feel like slow dancing isn't as big of a thing as it is with white people. So it's like you can see if you the crowd to use that on. But
Now
that's another good way. Then you hit him with a banger right after the slow dance ends, and you just everyone's already on the dance floor and they're already comfortable.
let me ask you a question now. So you mentioned that you would like some majority of the time you would start with something upbeat like September, right? But then if the crowd doesn't reply good to it, you will go to a slow dance. How do you transition from like
No,
September
no, no,
to
no.
a
I'll
slow
never
dance?
go. No, no, no. I wouldn't go from September to a slow dance. I meant I'll either start with like something high energy like that, or if that isn't like, I don't see this crowd being as like one that's like wants to dance and wants to like get started, then I'll do a slow dance instead. So yeah, I won't go once I go high energy. Like the next few songs I play are gonna be like well known like high energy songs, just to continue to be like, all right, everyone, come on, let's go, everyone on the dance floor kind of thing. Like I'll stick to that. But the slow dance, yeah, I'll just do one. Like I won't do like, I've never done more than one slow dance back to back.
Okay.
So I'll go from slow to then to high, but I won't go slow, 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 or I won't go like September and then slow the next, like right at the opening, opening set.
So you play like a couple of songs like a beat, and then you like cut it and then get on the mic and then play the slow dance, or like what is your take to go? Because let's say it's not working September, or like your disco music, it's not working.
Yeah, then so I've never had a situation. I've honestly never had September not work because that song I feel like everyone loves. But if it wouldn't have worked, then what I'd go to is just upbeat like pop music. Like I feel like the good ones are like going to Rihanna. That's a good one that like at least the younger crowd, if the older crowd isn't dancing to that old stuff, like
Mhm.
old September or disco type stuff, then
Yeah.
I'll go into more like pop music stuff. And I won't go if that ever happened, which it never has. I won't go to slow music. Like once I'm already in the 130s, like I'll at least stay there for like at the least like 15 minutes at the very least. Let's say if it's not working for 10, 15 minutes straight, then I would be like, okay, like I have to like change it up now. Then I would do a slow dance. I've never had to do that. Like, that's never happened, but that's, I would never go like just from high energy to then like low, like right at the beginning.
Okay. Well, and you brought something up very, very good that I've made a mistake before, and is when I start playing music, like again, my head is, I like quick mixing.
Yeah.
To me, it's really fun because it keeps my brain working. But the thing is that, like you said, at the beginning, you can't quick mix because you play the first song, let's say September, right?
Yeah.
And people gotta warm up to it. So they hear the song and they're singing along, they're vibing in their seat, and
Yeah.
then it's probably already like the first verse done, and now the chorus, the chorus going, and then they decide to get up to like dance and sing the song, but by the end of the chorus, I'm already changing it to something else, and
Yeah.
then people like, oh, like man, like like
Yeah.
wow, he
Exactly.
changed it or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So that's
I
why in the
used to,
beginning, and it's,
before I used to do that, and like because to me it was like the more songs I play, the better. But there are times for everything.
yeah.
When you start, like Shay says, let the song play, because you gotta let the people warm to it.
Mm-hmm.
Once after your, because usually we have crazy hour, so right after your crazy hour, then you can start doing quick mixing. Why? Because it's almost the end of the event, and two, the people that are left over are like your, like people that just want to like vibe to the music that you're playing.
Yeah.
Um, so there you can start doing quick mixing of like bangers, like songs that that they will sing along to, and they will like vibe to, they will like jump to, things like that. Uh, but at the beginning, you should like, let the songs like prolong a little more than you would do
Yeah.
usually. And I
And
learned.
what I usually do is then at the beginning, while it's prolonged, I'm going and just checking my speakers, making sure, because that's when I'm playing music the loudest, right? Of the whole night is dance floor. So I'll go make sure like the levels are still okay from earlier. Make sure the lights are all like onto dance floor mode. Like get settled in. Make sure I got all my stuff ready to go. And then I'll kind of do a check right there. Like okay, like everything's good. Like kind of like a takeoff for like a flight. And then I'm like, okay, like I'm letting the songs play too, so it's like whatever, 2 minutes long or so, like each song. Even the next couple of songs, I'll still pick songs people know, and then still play them a little bit longer. But then I'll start cutting it back, a little bit more, and getting closer to quick mixing. But I had a scenario at my last wedding that I did actually happen. So I'm curious, like this, what you think or what other people think. Basically, what it was this wedding had so many speeches. They had 6 speeches. So everybody had, and the bar wasn't inside the reception room either. So the bar was outside. There was a photo booth outside, and everyone had been in the room for like 6 straight speeches. And then there was a dance performance by the family members. And then the plan they had was, okay, right after the dance performance ends, like just go straight into the open dance floor. So like, like transition from the dance performance into the open dance floor. Oh, that's a good idea. I know it's a good way to bring the hype. But basically what happened is it happened, all right, dance performance time. And then everybody just like sat at their tables afterwards, like, oh shit, like it was finally done. And then everybody like went outside to the bar, everyone went to the bathroom. So instead of everyone coming to the dance floor, everyone left the hall. But the reason was because there was so much, like it wasn't dinner before. It was all these speeches, all this stuff. Everyone had been sitting there for like over an hour. So as soon as they got free, they didn't come to the dance floor. They all left. And I was like, holy shit, like, what's going on? So I was like, at first I was like, then I thought about them. Okay, like everyone's, everything is spread out here. They're all taking a break and stuff. So the dance floor wasn't like lit, and it was like kind of like dead. And I'm like, where is, like, no one was inside the venue. Everyone was gone. So I was like, what's going on? So I just kept playing, and then eventually people had the drinks. They used the photo booth. They came back inside like maybe half an hour later, and then it's like things went back to normal. But has that happened to you before?
No. Did you get on the mic to let people know that the dance floor was open?
Yeah. That's right when I was like, all right, everyone, now come join the family on the dance floor. Dance floor is officially open. And then like the song changed and everything. So it was obvious. And then also what this is another good point is the photographers, they want to take the group photos usually early in the night too. So this photographer was like, hey, like, when are we going to do the group photo? And they usually, sometimes they leave early too, right? They only stay for like 30 minutes sometimes. So that's another thing that you have to work out in the beginning of your dance floor is you just got everybody on the dance floor. And then then you're like, okay, now everyone, let's do a group photo. Like, face this way, this, that. And it kind of brings the energy down a little bit. Yeah. But like the way I do it, you can tell me how you do it afterwards too. But the way I do it is it'll be the beginning of the dance floor, whatever. I'll keep the hype going. And then like while the music is still playing, I won't cut down the music. I'll have the music going. I'm like, all right, everyone, we're gonna do a group photo. Like, everyone face this way. And it's a little bit chaotic. It's definitely chaotic, but there's no better way to do it. But the only thing that I have found to like keep the energy is don't like cut the music or like make it silent, just keep the music going in the background, do the picture real quick and like hype them up too. Be like, when you're on the mic, like, all right, everyone, make some noise. 1, 2, 3. Now everyone put your hands in the air. Like try to like make them not like doing dance moves, but hype them up while they're taking the picture. So
I hate that, bro. I hate that when they tell me to do that. I hate that. Yeah. What's up, buddy? How you doing, bro?
Buddy's here, bro.
Hey, we talked about the cars at the beginning. So we talked about like transportation. So we just
give you a shout out. We pulled up the. Do I still? I closed out of it. But yeah, we pulled up your van.
Yeah, and
big. I don't know if you have that big one. It looks like has seats like 12 people, but yeah, that thing looks nice.
Yeah, and then he says that kills the dance floor. Whatever the thing that happened to you that kills the dance floor. Yeah, definitely.
What I'll say, dude, is the picture. I've seen the picture on the flip side. The picture looks pretty good. So like from a picture standpoint, like you're like, wow, look at everyone having fun on the dance floor together. But in the moment, it like kills the whole vibe.
Yeah. So to me, I've never had that happen because when I talk to my clients or the photographer, because when I have the chance to speak to the videographer, photographer at the event, I do ask them, and like, do you have any plans at all on like picture wise? So when they tell me, oh yeah, I'm trying to get group photos or whatever, then I implement or I say, how about we do this during dinner? We can have the picture dash, or before everybody like serves themselves, they can come and take a picture. Or if it's plated, as you being served, every table go to the center and take a picture of that way it does not disrupt the dance floor, because it's hard to get the dance floor going, and once you get it going, you don't want to stop, and you're forcefully being stopped, and it's really hard to get them back up.
But the thing is the photos, like, you can do like individual photos, like families can come up during dinner. Like I do that, or if people want to, if the crowd wants to do that, or like the couple wants to do that. but the dance floor, like that picture can only be on the dance floor, and then you can't get like the whole everybody out of their seats, come to the middle of the dance floor, and then everyone go back to your seats. Like that requires so much more coordination. So that's why they try to combine it while everyone's on the dance floor, and then they know it makes a good photo too. So then they always push for that one.
I see what you're saying. I just disagree. I don't think, because it might be a good photo, but it does not help the flow of the event. Like
in the moment, but when you look at the picture, like that's why I don't mind doing it, because I just keep the volume loud. I just like make it really quick. All right, everyone look up over here. 1, 2, 3, make some noise. Woo! And then like, all right, now put your hands up, make some noise. Woo! And then like, all right, let's keep the party going, and let's keep it going. Like make it really fast like that.
No, that's another thing that I don't, and I'm not saying because of you, but like in general, I've seen a lot of like MCs or DJs do this. When they take up, like group picture or whatever, everybody say cheese or whatever. Why are we saying cheese if it's a picture, not a video? Like I don't understand. Or like make some noise. Why are we making noise if it's a picture? Like
do you understand why you say cheese? Because when you say cheese, you go like this, cheese. It's not say cheese. It's cheese. So everyone's forced to smile. That's why you say cheese.
I mean, this cheese. Yeah. Ew.
That's how you smile.
I just find it really funny when like people say like cheese or like, oh, say this, say that. Why are we saying this? It's a picture, not a video.
Yeah, but that's how you keep the hype going, bro. That's called the MC skills. Otherwise, everyone's just standing there silently during the picture. That's how the vibe dies then.
That's why I'm not an MC.
Yeah, that's why you got Pee Wee, bro, to keep the hype going.
Yeah,
but he says just got a customer meeting. Man, you're grinding, dude. That's like, what is it over there? 8:30 p.m.
The Mercedes ain't paying so, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And then Chinchillin, yo, he's back. He said, "Hey, yo, I'm back." Dude, what's up, man? You're here early. You got out of work early today, I guess.
Oh, he on break. He on lunch. Oh, another thing that I take advantage of is dinner. And dinner, and also this is something that I talk to the clients about. I do ask them like, hey, for dinner, can I play upbeat music? I know that the traditional way is to play some like sing-alongs and like very mellow music for people, while they eat. But I ask them, can I play some upbeat music so I can project that right after you're done eating, it's a party.
Yeah.
And lately it's been working for me. So I use either like mambo or I'm using like Latin pop, but not like Latin pop like soft songs. I'm talking about like sing-alongs that are like fast paced or like things like that. And it has helped me a lot because my dance floors are beginning, like they begin to get like full faster than before. Before it would take me a little bit longer to get everybody in the dance floor. And then once I get them on the dance floor, then it's a wrap. Like stay, like pop, pop, pop. Now I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that every event it's the whole 4 hours or like 3 hours of open dance floor. It's full. It's not, but it's not empty either. But it's not like I want to say maybe there's like a handful that I can say that it's been from start to finish packed. Yeah. Like I can count it with my fingers.
Yeah.
But besides that, like now you also have to let people, like slow it down a little bit so people can go get a drink, relax, talk, and then come back. You know what I'm saying? So that's also very important. Think about it this way: it's not always dance, because that doesn't mean that. Yeah, in our eyes, people dancing is like, damn, we're killing it, right? But in their eyes, it's like they're not having a good time. They might not be having a good time if it's just like dance, because people haven't seen each other for a while. They want to talk to each other, they want to have a good time, they want to take a drink, they want to cheers, they want to take pictures. So you got to play with all of these scenarios within the wedding or quince or whatever you decide to play. So yeah, for me, dinner it's very important too. I like to play music that is upbeat to project that it's a party right after this.
I'm gonna ask you this: do you start like dance floors with like, is there a BPM that you like to start them with? Or do you like to stay in the 130s? Do you like stay in the hundreds, or do you not care?
I well, because it depends. Because okay, merengue and bachata, they both have almost the same range of BPM. So, but salsa doesn't. Salsa is around 100, like 90s to 100,
Mm.
or 105 most. And then cumbia, it's also around like 90s to 100, 105. So my take is, first of all, where are they from? If they're from like Central America, I know that it's more bachata and cumbia based, and you can throw merengue in there, but mainly cumbia and bachata. If it's South American, like Peruvians, Colombians, it's more salsa. So and merengue too, merengue and salsa. But so that's one thing that I take in consideration. And I want to be on like the safe side when I start, because keep in mind we're still cold. We need to warm up to like our brain needs to start like working faster. So we need to warm up too, because we've been standing watching people talk and eat and do all this, but we haven't been like DJing for a minute. So again, it really depends. I'm not gonna say I have like a go-to song to start a event. I don't. I go based on what I see at the event and based on where they're from. If they're like from Central America, then I know that either bachata or cumbia is gonna work. And if it's in like South America, it could be salsa or like cumbia from their country.
Yeah.
That will work. Uh, so again, it all really depends. Do you
Yeah, it
have
looks
a
like
preference?
Chinchons, he's saying a similar kind of thing. Depends on the family, where they're from, what music style they are.
Yeah. So do you have for your events? Do you have a preference, or do you have a go-to song that you will play at every single event, or you just wing it like I do?
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's like if there's any aspect of white people, like especially older white people, or like there's a majority white people there,
Uh-huh.
then that's when I'm starting. I usually start that's when I'll either do the slow dance. Depends. I'll make the call like at that time. So either I'll do a slow dance to get them on the dance floor, or if I'm like, all right, these people are lit. There's a big older crowd here. That's why I'll go with something like September.
Okay.
No, I'll always start with that because there's usually enough old people in the crowd. Like if I just start with some like brand new pop song right in the beginning, the old people are not gonna get on the dance floor like right at the start.
Yeah.
So if they're young, I'll go into that pop stuff like faster. And that's another thing that I've learned is like before I used to do just a bunch of oldies at the beginning, like 20 minutes of like oldies classics, like whatever, September, Bee Gees, all those types of disco type stuff.
Not this way, yeah.
But now what I do is I'll throw in some like pop music in there too that like the young people know too. So that's why I like Rihanna because Rihanna is like pop. Everybody likes her, but she's also a little bit more like hip hop. So like you kind of let the younger crowd know that like all right, like like the other like the more
It's
current
coming.
stuff is
It's
coming.
coming.
It's coming. Like
Yeah.
you're not just playing all this like just classic wedding stuff. So that's why I like Rihanna's music because everybody kind of likes it, but it's also a little bit like it's a little bit not as like whatever like the classic like white wedding stuff. And so I'll throw that in there, and then I'll just transition. Once I transition over to the younger stuff, I rarely ever go back to like the old people stuff. The only time I'll go back to it is if I see older people in the crowd that are still there, and I'll be like, all right, like I haven't played like Staying Alive yet, so I'll throw that in, or something, because everybody loves that song. So I'll throw it in for them like that. But other than that, then I rarely go back to the old stuff. And then
Okay.
if it's Indian music though, sometimes I'll start because like I said, I don't really do slow dances. It depends on the crowd, but I probably won't do slow dances for most like all Indian crowds. But sometimes there's some really popular Indian songs that are in the hundreds range. So then I'll start with the hundreds there, but I'll quickly like it's a way to get people on the dance floor. And then I'm going up. I try to go quick up to the 130s and I stay there for a while. And then I kind of assess what's going on. Like if people are getting tired, then I'll go back down. If then I'll change. But I'll start 100s, go to 130s like within the first 8 to 10 minutes or so, and then I'll see what happens from there.
Okay. Well, yeah. Again, I don't have a preference on the what BPM to go with, but I do have like, let's say, I want to maybe call it tricks that I'll start. Let's say if I start with bachata and I see that it's not working, I know that bachata and merengue are almost on the same BPM,
Yeah.
and I can go from bachata to merengue, and then from merengue, being the fact that it's a 130, 140 BPM, I just speed it up a little bit, and then I can start using some. I can go from merengue. I can go to like cumbia in the 70s BPM because there are very few, but there's cumbia that are in the 70 BPMs, and then start building up from there, and then from there go to salsa, and then from there like start moving around to everything to see
Yeah,
what you
yeah. So it's
receive to.
different. It's different with the. Now that's what Chinchillin's saying is like for us as sonideros, we are different than other DJs. So I mean that means like Latino DJ is sonidero.
No, sonidero is a specific type of cumbia.
Uh,
Yeah. Um,
so do you consider yourself a sonidero?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, no. I
So,
like it. I
so
like the music.
Chinchillin considers himself sonidero for us as sonidero. But
So
I don't know. Like I thought sonidero that just means like sound or something. But I don't
no,
know.
it's a
Yeah.
it's a genre. It's a genre of music. So like EDM, like
EDM.
there's EDM DJs. There's a techno DJs. There's house
Yeah, yeah,
DJs.
yeah. Oh, so
Sonidero.
Chinchillin, are you mostly like do you mostly play cumbia then, or do you mostly play like
But
that
it's a
that genre?
specific type of cumbia. But
Mm.
the cumbia, the cumbia, the sonidero cumbia is fire, man.
Mm.
Yeah.
I know Sonidito. That's the sonidero I know. El
uh,
sonidito.
so sonidito is tribal, so that's a different genre.
I know
It just
it
happened.
sounds similar though. It sounds
Yeah,
similar.
it does sound similar. You're right about that.
Yeah.
So with that, do you have like if you could name like 5 songs that you see yourself going to when let's say you can't read the crowd, like we're talking about an American crowd, what songs like at least like 3 to 5 songs that you will go are your go-to's to get out the dance floor started?
Okay, well, let me read this. I think Chinchillin thinks of it a little differently. He says all the music, cumbia, norteñas, duranguense, all the music. So he's a little bit more flexible, all encompassing with the genres as a sonidero. But yeah, what I'll say is so yeah, for old classics, September for sure, Staying Alive for sure, and then like more newer stuff. I would say Rihanna, We Found Love. Like that's a big one, and it's a good one for weddings too. Like
That's a very poppy, yeah.
yeah, like poppy. Like everyone loves it, and like American people will still, older people will still like it. And then sometimes I would say like so if I'm trying to change BPMs really fast, or like go into something new, and I don't know if it's really working. Like if whatever the BPM I was at wasn't really working, I'll go to a party in the USA with Miley Cyrus because it's kind of like it's much slower. I can then mix into like other stuff from there,
Yeah.
and everybody knows that song. And they throw your hands up. So like I'll use that one as kind of like a go-to when I'm like, all right, I need to get out of the 130s. It's not really working.
That's
And
one
then
song, at least for like sorry to cut you off, but that's
yeah.
one song with Americans and Hispanics we have to be like careful because a lot of Hispanics don't like Miley Cyrus like that.
Oh
So
really?
at least here. At least here.
Was it like something she did, or
No,
they
no,
just?
no, no. It's just like I guess it's just like that song.
Oh, really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like
White
it
people
does
love that song, bro. And
yeah.
then even also other good ones like also, but these are in the 130s. So, but I'll play these sometimes. Is like "Shut Up and Dance with Me." That's a good one for weddings.
Oh, Shut Up and Dance with Me. I use that one for Hora Loca.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like that one, I use that one for Hora Loca.
Like Hispanic people will dance to that song?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
like obviously I'll start with like Spanish music, like Das Acoduros, Pepas,
Yeah,
those type for la hora loca. But when I start a Hispanic event, a party, whatever, I usually if I wanna start with bachata, I have to make a choice. Do I want fast bachata or classic bachata? Two different type of bachata, and then I go from there. If I want to start with merengue and there's American crowd and I want to involve them, Suavemente is the song to play. You hit both crowds with
Yeah, that's a
Suavemente.
good one. Yeah,
Everybody
that's a
knows
key.
the
That's
song.
a key. Everyone listening, if you got a Hispanic crowd, you don't know what to do, just play Suavemente, and everyone's on your team.
Yeah.
Well, let me hit some of these buddy ones. These are good. Pink Pony Club all night. You know, I know Pink Pony Club. I have never played Pink Pony Club yet, but I know it's a banger. And then Buddy says Party Rock. That's another really good one. That's
I
another really good one. Pop kind of right in the beginning of the night, and the
I,
older crowd will dance to that one too.
I use that one for Hora
That's a
Loca
good
too.
one. LMFAO. Yep, that's
Yeah,
that's a really good
I
one.
use Party Rock, LMFAO, all of those that are like Fireball, all of those. I use it for Hora Loca.
Yeah.
That's because I again remember we have to take in consideration the type of crowd that you have. If you have American, if it's a mixed crowd, you want to throw both. So this type of music, Party Rock, LMFAO, all of those are Fireball, like hotel room service, all of those. I save them for that type for the peak
Mm.
hour, and
Yeah,
then I
yeah.
just combine it with like Pepa and Daza
Sounds like
Kuduro,
yeah,
Limbo from Daddy Yankee. Like
yeah.
I mix both all of it because they're all upbeat, fun, and there's this type of songs like you don't really have to because they're bangers, so you don't have to beat match them. You can press stop and play on the next one
Yeah, people will know.
obviously at the right time. It's not just like you're gonna press stop and play it has to be at the right time, perfect time to get it going. Love it too. I love it from
Yeah.
like yeah, that
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah, buddy. These are good. These are some good songs. I have a couple. I'm gonna throw at you guys. See what you think of them. And then Chinchillin says the music I hate most is the Grupo Firme. It's annoying, but I get those song requests after party when I get done with the event.
Bro, I love Grupo Film. What are you talking about, man?
Bro, you guys got
Oh,
some conflicting reports here. I don't know.
no,
You
no.
guys,
Well, I don't know, but like he's saying he personally doesn't like the group, but
yeah.
he gets requests from the
It
Grupo
sounds
Firme.
like you by
Grupo
your
Firme
reaction, you
hit
really like that one.
hard, bro. Firme hit hard like 2 3 years ago. They came
Yeah.
out hard, and since then they've been coming out and like playing some like just bangers. But their music, it's more like let's get drunk music. Like once
Mhm.
you're messed up, you want to listen to that type of
Yeah,
music.
that's why it sounds like that's why it's worse because it's the party's over and then people are saying play Grupo Firme, so then it gets annoying. But yeah, buddy, that's a really good one. I love it. That's another really good one. Kind of like that one. That one's kind of like shut up and dance to me. You know, like it's kind of like the classic like
Same
sing
beat, yeah.
along, same kind of BPM. You can play those together. And
Same
then
flow. Same
the
flow.
other one I'll say. So this one I played thinking it was like a throwaway song, but everyone at this last wedding I went to went crazy to it. It had one of the best reactions that I was like so surprised by, and it was "Boom Boom Pow" by Black Eyed Peas. Have you guys know that song or have
Yeah.
you played that one
Boom,
recently?
boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
I was
Yeah.
like, yo, this one is like, whatever. Like it's kind of like a
But
kind of a throwaway, but like the girls started like twerking to that song, and like everyone like doing like twerking and stuff. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like I was not
see,
expecting this.
that one, boom, 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 pow. To me, like I don't know. To me, it wouldn't work in
Yeah,
my
that's what I thought too.
yeah. But
But
and
these,
then again,
that's what I don't know if it's just this crowd. Sometimes it can be like that because I was like, I haven't played this. It was one of those things I haven't played in a long time, and I was like, I'm just kind of playing this like it's not that lit right now. But everyone started going nuts to that song, and I was like, I don't know. But so it sounds like for you, it's the same thing. It's not like a lit song. I don't know, buddy, if you maybe that I don't know if you play that song if it's not PC. I never thought of it as like a twerking song, but everyone was like twerking to that song when I played it.
another song that you can DJ got us falling in love. That one is also
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's a good one.
yeah,
That's a good like warm up, one.
or wedding.
Like
Yeah.
getting them like when it's the beginning time,
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
Pepas is a straight up banger,
Yeah.
straight up banger. And then Sandstorm, oh
Into
Pepas and the
Sandstorm.
Sandstorm. That's an interesting combo.
You can. I mean, yeah, because they're both like EDM that's genre,
Yeah,
so
kind of.
they
Yeah.
all look fine.
I always paired like I don't play that much Latino stuff, but it's like I'm always pairing Danza Kuduro and Pepas. Like those are my 130 BPMs like Latino bangers. And then if people like seem to be feeling it, then I'll go into like Fireball and Hotel Room Service a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'll sometimes do In the Ghetto too by what's that? Nati Ghetto.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So I'll
yeah.
do that like those kind of American ones that American people know. So I'll play that.
Another thing that I would like do because the hora loca obviously is an hour, but it gets to the point that people you can't keep up because they're tired of jumping so much and like so you gotta bring it down somehow. So what I do is I started going once I see that people are like just getting tired or like going like this. I just use start throwing like 2000s. So like I always start with crank that. Why?
Mm.
Because it has a you
Yeah, you
like
can just you can then you're back in that BPM
and
range.
then you're back and then you start like but literally I'm doing at that time I'm already quick mixing because I do like the Soldier Boy thing. I let it do the first Soldier Boy
Yeah.
whatever you and then they go side to side boom and then I go to hit the Quan and then from that I go to Google Me and then from that I start I go to like Chain Hang Low and then I
Yeah.
start going like just hits and then just going like first verse chorus out and then next one and the next
Yeah.
one and then they'll start like doing the dances because there's dances to it. And then,
I forgot about Chain Hang Low. That's a good one, bro. I'm gonna write that one down because I like that song when it was
yeah,
playing, but I forgot
um,
about it.
I also snap your fingers too from Lil
Oh,
Yo.
that's a good one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
so like I start throwing all of that
HLO.
quick mixing, but I start throwing all of those like hits from
Yeah.
the 2000s, and then uh, from there I either go two routes. One after that I'm either throw one or two line dances, and the reason why I do that is because it's requested, and I think that's the best fit of it because you already warm up the crowd to start doing something that everybody does the same thing. Because the Soldier Boy thing, everybody starts doing the same thing.
Kind of like a line dance.
Yeah, it's kind of like a line dance. Then the Chain Hand Low, it's everybody start doing the same thing. Walk it out, I throw walk it out in there too.
Yeah,
So
well,
like I start building up to like the cha-cha slide
hmm.
to get rid of it,
Yeah.
and or the
What
wobble.
if they don't request it? Then do you still play it?
No,
Oh,
no,
then you don't do it.
but look, 9 times out of 10, it's in there.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll leave
let me
it.
hit these. Let me hit these really quick. Buddy says, "Look at your hits from 2010s. They were in grad school and they know it." Yeah, that's the thing now. Like 2010s, 2008s to 2010s. Like those are the songs that people like, and at this age that people are getting married at, and that's why the LMFAO works really well. And then Shinzo says, "But yeah, that song is After Party, Grupo Firme, Ya
Yeah, super.
Supareme." That we played when drunk people started to sing. Yep.
Yeah,
Those seems like so yeah. If you're getting really deep, if you're ever in a really drunk Latino party, start write down some of these songs. And he
those,
said,
those
let's not
those are
forget El Toxico song by Karine Leon and Bruce.
those are called in the Hispanic community as like la cortavenas,
What does that mean?
vein cutters. Those songs are
Oh
vein
shit!
cutters.
Oh, wait, what the fuck? Vein
Yeah,
cutters.
yeah, because literally this
Emo.
Ya Superame is literally you're telling like that he's telling the girl like okay like get over me already. I
No, like
already got over you, so get
song.
over me. And then the next one, el tóxico, that means like the toxic. So he's a very toxic person, and
Yeah, there's some. I don't know those songs, but I know there's some Bad Bunny songs that are like that too, like sad. At the end of the night, some people started like requesting them, and I'm like, "Yo, this sounds like sad, bro. Like, what are you playing this?"
yeah, but Bunny has like very few, like very little, but like God, man,
Yeah.
like Grupo Firme, it's one of those that everyone, it's like a modern type of like Mexican type of music. So it's that's just how it is. But everybody likes that type of music when they're drunk.
Mm,
So,
interesting.
but like they're sing-alongs, like the music, you play it and everybody's gonna start yelling the music because like they're feeling it.
That's the
It's,
best. That's the best, dude. Like
yeah,
people don't need to dance. They just need to like the biggest. I think the biggest thing we can do for people is like nostalgia. Like when they hear a song they know, it transports you back to that time. And it's usually when you were younger and you remember some like amazing time and you're like, oh man, like it's a time machine.
you get the type of like few people that are like, oh my god, that song, bro, you're the man, that song, like it's crazy, and then you're like, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
So
it's
I
just what
think
it takes one song and then someone can love you like the whole night. Even if you don't play anything else, like you play that one song for them, then they're like, oh, this guy's best DJ, number 1 DJ.
yeah, yeah, that's true, and it has happened.
Yeah,
Los
these are
Tigres,
Los Tigres del Norte, Cardenal. Oh, damn, bro, this is straight up. Cardenales de Nuevo León and other corridos are the best songs.
well,
You
yeah,
guys agree on that one?
corridos. Los Tigres del Norte are, to me, the number one. And
Oh,
corridos, number one. Those,
here we go. All
man,
right, so we got one that you guys agree on then.
yeah, Los Tigres del Norte, to me, are like the best when
I've
it
heard
comes
of them. I've heard of them too. I have some songs. I don't know. I have this folder called like Banda, and then I have all these songs, and a bunch of them are by Tigres del Norte. But I don't know if that's actually banda music or not.
well, they're called. It's part of like it's like EDM, like banda has different sections.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
usually Los Tigres del Norte they have some corridos.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
there's the
sing.
other corridos. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's fun, man. It's fun. This is a good. I mean, we did it for most of this episode, but saying like, all right, this song, and then what song you'd play next, because that's a lot of us. Like I said, we have like songs. Like I have a lot of go-to songs. Like when I'm playing this, then I'm gonna play this. But it's interesting hearing everybody else's like opinions and your thought processes. Like when you're in this song, all right, what are you probably gonna go to next, or what are you thinking? Even if there's not even a crowd in
You
front of
know
us, like
what?
we can always start to think.
I feel like eventually we start building like a strategy in
Yeah,
regards to like how you want to go about the night, and it also like it depends on the crowd and all of that, and like the client's choice of music. Then
yeah,
you can choose how to go about it. But again, we have a base that we on every single event you do the same thing. You go that route with different songs, but it's that specific route that you take. Oh,
yeah.
I go like the 130s, or I go like fast pace first, and then I start going low, or I start with a slow song to get everyone in the dance floor, and then like, all right, let's party now, and boom,
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
it up. So there's different.
The only time I'll stray from that is when the dance floor gets shortened like a lot. So if they're like they were planning for a 2 hour dance floor, but now everything's delayed and there's only 1 hour left, then I'm like I cut everything short, and I'm moving to the bangers like really fast then. And I'm going to like peak really quickly. But that's when we have a really short dance floor, is I'll do that.
If there's one thing that you're against doing or happening, like, is there something that you would say like I'm against that? Like, no, I don't want that this to happen at an event, or I don't want to do this in an event. Or,
I mean, like I'm not like a fan of playing line dances, but I'm not, if they're requesting a line dance like the bride and groom, then I'll play it. So I don't know. There's nothing that I'm nothing I'm against, honestly.
me personally, I think that not on a house party, I think, but on a wedding, I think that having a dance floor for 4 hours is too long.
Oh, like that.
I'm
Yeah.
a, I'm against having a 4 hour dance floor like
But
set.
have you had like house parties? Things can go because there's no end on the venue. But have you had a wedding where they have a 4 hour dance floor? No one has time for that. Like in the
Uh, yeah,
timeline that I've
yes.
done.
It
Damn.
wasn't well. It wasn't at a like a venue. It was like the guy had a single house, and he had a tent in the back. His backyard was huge, like humongous.
Yeah, yeah,
You can literally build a venue in there. And he had like the cart thing is like the big. I think it was like 40 by 40 or something. His backyard was huge,
God.
so it was a very very long event. Even though it came out great, everybody like the other people could dance. Like, God, damn, that people could dance. But I just feel like you always want to leave the crowd wanting more, you know.
Yeah.
And at times you can get to that point where like, okay, I already had enough, and you start getting people that are leaving early because it's way too much.
Yeah, and there's just few people left at the end, like waiting, just there
Yeah.
because it's still going.
So like when I speak to my clients, and they usually say, yo, how long is like the reception? Well, I do tell them, well, look, reception is usually 4 hours, and so the 1 hour is like presentations, you're dancing, whatever, speeches and all of that. Then you have 1 hour of dinner, and then 2 to 2 hours and a half, which is like full dancing.
Yeah.
2 to 3 hours max. It's good enough for people to like dance, drink, have fun, and enjoy. But like I feel like 4 hours is just way too
That's
long.
crazy.
Way too long.
And it's gonna be like at the end, yeah, it's gonna be the people at the end of the marathon, like just barely making it to the finish line, the people who stayed.
Exactly.
But let's hit this because now we're getting the overtime, and it looks like Buddy might have sent a picture. But Chinchillin says, when there's nobody at the venue, I normally play myself a song called Enigma, Gravity of Love, or Return to Innocence, or Enigma, Why by Andrew Donalds, or Enya, Only Time.
I never
Bro,
heard.
have you heard? Yeah, those that's some deep artists, and maybe some like I haven't heard of those personally, but
Me
we'll check
neither.
them out, man. Maybe we
What
could
is
check
it?
them out.
Gravity of Love, or Return to Innocence, or Enigma. Why by Andrew Donalds.
All right, I screenshotted them. I'll play them. We'll start with those next time to see what
We'll
kind
talk
of
about
music Chinchillin likes.
We'll talk
And then
about
Buddy said, did he see the pic? Maybe did he send you a pic or something?
what picture? No.
I don't know. Check your email, bro.
What on the email?
But said he sent you a dick pic, bro. Be careful. Don't share it. Don't share it without checking it first.
No, yeah.
On IG. On IG. Okay, phew. IG has some protective filters, and it's probably something safer.
Instagram. Let me check. Let me see. Well, you was on well, bro.
Bro, this is like end of the night, end of the dance floor. The guests get drunk. That's what's happening right now.
You ain't lying. Like, have you had any crazy thing like when they're drunk, almost at the end of the night? Anything crazy that has happened to you?
Bro, I mean, I've done some college parties where like stuff gets a little crazy.
Uh-huh.
Like someone literally, like they didn't do it on purpose, but they grabbed my laptop like with two hands, and like they thought like they were drunk, so they thought it was like a facade or something. They like put their hands on my laptop and like pulled it down, like trying to talk to me, and my whole laptop like flipped backwards. I was like,
yo, that happened to me too. They broke my facade.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, it was at this party. This guy was really drunk, and then he just came and went boom.
Yeah.
And my joint said boom, like an accordion.
That's the problem with facades, dude. Like they look sturdy, but so everyone comes up on them, like tries to lean on it, and it's like woo.
Can you see my screen?
Oh yeah, that is the one.
So that's Buddy's.
Nice, man.
That's
the big one.
Picture.
Oh yeah,
that's big.
That's legit.
Yeah, that was huge.
But your setup, I mean, do you need all this space? Like, because your setup is pretty like compact and sleek. Or are there times where you're bringing certain equipment or like add-ons that you use all that space? Because I like usually you have the J8s and the speakers and like you don't have like the trussing or anything like that.
You know what? I feel maybe because he runs, like he could do like different things at like two different events, and he got to put a lot of, because he has a lot of equipment.
Yeah, or that's the thing. That's what I was saying earlier too. You can just use that as your storage space, And then Shinja's like, cops called due to noise. Oh man, you know about that.
That happened to me this past Saturday. I did a graduation party at a fire station. And it was like 8:30 at night. They started complaining that it was too loud. Then I turned it down a little bit, and then at like 9 something, they came again. It was still loud. So I put myself at 12 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock, and then I put my external mixer at 11 o'clock, and on my controller at 9 o'clock. And at like 10:15, they came again. It's too loud. And I was like, oh my God, like, okay, like, and I lowered it down a little more. But again, I don't know what it was. They just kept saying that it was too loud. And I don't think it was loud. Like,
the neighbors just want to shut down the party, dude.
I guess.
Yeah, I know. There's always noise ordinances like with that. But it's weird in a venue for sure. There's some venues obviously have that. But if it's a venue that doesn't usually have one, usually in a venue you're okay. Usually at houses, you have the noise problem. But yeah. I've had that. I've had people, trying to pull down stuff. I have a fire alarm going off because the person brought haze, and then they tried to blame me for it. Wow, 4 a.m. Holy crap, that's wild, bro.
Like, oh, what has been your latest, like the latest you've ever DJ in event?
I haven't. I've never been that late. I know you got a crazy story, but for me, the latest is like 1:30 or 2. That's the latest.
Okay, my latest is 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah,
6:30 a.m., bro. The sun's coming out, and you're going home, bro.
exactly. When I got home, it was like 7 something,
That's wild, dude.
and that was on Sunday morning when I got home, and then at like 11 a.m. I had a quince to DJ,
Yeah,
so I didn't have time to sleep or anything.
that's
I had to
wild.
like get ready and do my things.
Yeah, buddy said we have a few weddings with 4 setups, speakers, tables, lights, TVs. Yeah, TVs definitely. That's you need the big space for, because those you can't fold them up or whatever. You know, they're like you got to transport them as they are, so it can get loaded. Be loaded by storage on. Oh, got it. So you keep the stuff in a storage place.
Yeah.
4:30 a.m. Damn. That's
And if you're running TVs, then I can see why he will need the big
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah, you need the big space.
Buddy, do you use like regular truss, or do you use like the Rockville like collapsible totems?
Yeah, for the TVs. Or he puts it. Yeah, how do you mount your TVs? I don't know if I've seen probably trussing.
I haven't seen one truss.
8:30 a.m. because we have Illuminacion.
Illuminación and
and
audio.
Wow.
Lighting and audio. The group and stuff like that.
Yes, I'm a baby then. I'm a baby compared to you guys. I go, the latest I've done is like 1:30 or 2 or something like that.
Well, yeah, when you see that's the thing though. When you have a big big setup, obviously it takes you more time to take it apart and everything like that. But I'm talking about I finished playing at 6:30 in the morning. Finished playing, not picking out my stuff.
That's crazy,
6:30
dude.
in the morning. And
that's crazy. Everybody says the Rockville in the booth for 1 TV. Nice.
Oh yeah. You know what? I was looking into that facade thingy with the TV in the front, but then I was like,
you definitely need a trailer or something, bro. You need a van for that.
Yeah, but then I was like, where am I gonna put the TV? 1 and 2. The reason why I built the lavish booth is because I don't want to use the facade. So why would I want to use it? What would I put a facade in front of me? So yeah,
you gotta see. I think you need both. Like that's what it is. Like I can't always do just like lavish booth, like on a totem or whatever. Like sometimes I need a facade setup because it's just too small an area or something, you know. So I think you need to have flexibility to do both. So that's why it's good to have both. It's a good tool to have and a good option to have.
Yeah, definitely. Don't get me wrong. I have both. For the party I did this Saturday, I used the facade because it's just I use my smaller.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes it just makes more sense.
Yeah, and it's faster. It's a faster setup too. So
and Chin Chillin says I was knocked out when we got home. Woke up at 6 p.m. Damn, bro.
I bet.
Yeah, that's a long day, man. Yeah, I'll let you guys know. I've never achieved that level of DJing experience yet.
You will one day.
Yeah, we'll see, bro. I don't know that one too. I'm just getting older now, so we'll see. But that was a good episode, man. That was fun.
It does get harder though. Like the older you get to your knees, bro. That day when I sat down in my car, my feet were pounding like this. My knees were hurting so bad, and they were making this like the noise when you move and like starts cracking. My knees were doing that. I was like, oh my god! Literally, I laid down and I was like, please. I told my wife, yo, wake me up at like 10, because it was like 7:30 something. I was like, wake me up at 10 if I don't wake up myself, because at 11 I have to leave.
You gotta get up. And then Buddy says, do you see a HVAC guy with a hatchback? We do. DJs do that. We have big stuff. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like when you show up with that big black Mercedes Sprinter van, like it makes a statement, you know, like you're like, oh shit, like the DJ's here, you know, like it makes a statement when you arrive to a venue, everybody's unloading, and versus you pulling up I pulled up in a Honda Accord when I used to have a Honda Accord, to be like, yo, what the hell? This guy's who is this guy?
But yeah, when we get there, they're like, oh, it's another guest.
Yeah. Or they'll oh, like where's the loading dock? And then like they come out, they're like, oh, they think somebody like parked here by mistake. But yeah, when you show up with a big van, you show up with a work truck, then they're not worried about who this person is.
Or especially when you have like like some people have it like wrapped with like their business thing and stuff.
Buddy, that's the thing. I always think of Buddy's point is that if you put logos on it, you become a target for robbery too. Then people are like, oh, this inside here is all this speakers and stuff. Let me rob this van.
Yes, but that's if you leave it in your car. If you like, Buddy has a storage unit. So if he downloads everything to his storage unit, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you'll leave even at gigs though. Like sometimes I'll have stuff in my car, or I'll do the ceremony, I'll break it down, I'll put the stuff back in my car. So like there's always some things, but it's your main stuff isn't gonna be in the car, when you're at a venue. But Shinchan says, yeah, if Smiley was here, we'd have a good story for him. Yeah, I know we missed Smiley today for sure, man. So Smiley's always here though. He's a trooper. So
yeah, Smiley he'd be having some stories, man.
Yeah. He bought his car off his Temu car or something.
I said 6:30. Chin said 8:30. I bet you Smiley gonna say
48 hours or something. 11 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah, crazy like that. But all right, guys, we'll call it off for now. Thank you for showing up. All your comments. It was great talking to you guys as always, and we'll definitely get to it next week with another topic. If you guys have anything in specific that you want us to tackle, let us know in the comments, or message me on Instagram, Facebook, or Shay, and then we'll definitely make make the show for it. But again, thank you for the love, showing up, and we'll see you in the next one. All right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, buddy made a joke here at the end, if telling everyone you're basically putting a billboard that says we have DJ gear in here. Then night, guys. Yeah, guys, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.